butts to ashes, from suds to empty glasses, come down to Deadwood Tobacco Company, Blow and Smoke Podcast.
Hey, coming up on the next episode of Deadwood Tobacco Company Blow and Smoke Podcast, it is Behind the Bluster, William Rectenwald versus Wild Bill. We take his journey from his first cigar through the future plans for Deadwood Tobacco Company and all the bumps and bruises and happy times in between. Also, we're going to learn what his first cigar ever was. We are going to see and hear about how Pierce put his dad's pipe in his mouth. Yep, you're not going to want to miss that one. There's the word of the podcast that only one of us says one time, and you'll find out what that is as well. And we are going to learn a little bit about a book you should all read, The World of Cigars by Mr. Sherman, if you're interested. All that and a whole lot more tomfoolery, shenanigans, and ballyhoo. There's the old people words on the next Deadwood Tobacco Company Blow and Smoke Podcast.
Shenanahoons next. Hello, everybody, and welcome to DTC Blow and Smoke Podcast. I am your host, Handsome Pierce. Along with me always is...
I, Candy Randy, and behind the board, mixing, mastering, and doing all of the fancy shit is the preacher, Ethan.
Thank you so much.
It's an awfully early morning.
Wow.
Can you see that? Already got a pregnant pause.
Yeah, we already got that. Today we are being joined with, we actually thought it would be kind of a good idea since we haven't done this in a while, if ever. We're going to be going through the cast of Deadwood Tobacco Company. We're going to be interviewing people, kind of get to know everybody here and see what was their birth into this industry and a little bit of backstory into everything. So we got Mr. Wild Bill here today. There we go.
All right. So we're going to call this one Behind the Bluster, William Rectenwald versus Wild Bill. A little bit about his background in the industry. You know, some stuff to catch you up if you haven't been watching the podcast for a while. But before we do that, we're going to go to, Pierce is a little bit under the weather, so he's not joining us. We are going to have a lovely little What Are We Smoking? Bill, you want to lead us off? I'm pretty sure they can guess what you've got.
Padron 2000 Natural.
Very good. Also, not that blend, but the favorite cigar when not smoking her own product of one Rosie Perez, we found out.
Yeah, that was a really good, interesting nugget of information that we got to know.
Yes, indeed. I went with La Auroras, Connecticut. We are shooting this early in the morning. This is the 1987 in the Gran Toro size. Dominican, nice, easy, smooth. Goes really great with my 1919 hand-brewed root beer from New Ulm, Minnesota.
Nice. Ethan, what are you smoking over there?
Rocket Patel, vintage 1990 broadleaf.
That's your super farmy one, huh?
No.
No?
No.
Which one was that? Oh, the decade.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
The decade. Very good. Awesome.
Okay.
We probably need more caffeine when we shoot these first thing in the morning.
Yes, we do. Shit.
A couple of things going on in the shop. Of course, we always have live music every Friday and Saturday, 8 until midnight. Come on down. Check that schedule on all of our social media and such. After this one comes out, it's going to be the Brandon Sprague Blues Band on stage this weekend. So come on down, dance a little bit, enjoy some Texas-style, Chicago-style blues. And I believe last time he had added Marty has been playing with him quite a bit.
Yeah, Marty's been playing with him a bit.
Yep.
Back to the old roster, too. It seems like Doug and Freddie are rocking in the background as well. So it's a good old throwback to when we were down in the basement. But alas, we are not anymore. We are in a better location, which is at...
the 715 Main Street. Almost forgot.
Nice.
Right at the top of town, a corner right across from the Franklin Hotel, right next to the Silverado. Couple of housekeeping items for the shop. Humidor is looking good. Got plenty of sticks in there. Make sure you stop in and ask for your Christmas or holiday selections. A couple of items. We will be closed for 2 days coming soon. Only 2 days we're closed of the year, right, Bill?
Well, it might be 3 this year.
Oh, really?
Might be 3.
Oh, so it's Thanksgiving Day for sure, Christmas Day for sure, that we are always closed.
And then we have a private party December 6th for the Shriners on Saturday.
Yeah, but that's only in the evening, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Very good. Well, that'll be up on our socials as well. Make sure you check that out, Deadwood Tobacco, on all of that stuff as well. And also, we have some gift ideas for you. We did a massive inventory trying to clear out some stuff. We've got clothing on sale. You can check it out, Deadwood Tobacco, all of the fun stuff we've got there. We've got some hoodies. We've got some flannels. We've got jackets for this time of year. We're a little bit short on some of your core sizes, but we need to get rid of those. So we're going to call it the Fat Man and Little Boy sale. So if you are a 3X and a 4X or a small or medium, we got lots of selection for you. We have in between sizes as well, just not as much. Ethan and Bill and Grimes have been heavy designing and getting new stuff ready so we can restock with some fun new items, all branded with, of course, Deadwood Tobacco Company. So those will be coming very, very soon. Stop in for the big ass sale. I saw Ethan posted that this morning on our socials, so you can check out all of the details on that as well.
It's like a Jake and the Fat Man fucking promo.
Exactly. And then, unfortunately, I get to be the fat man. So, Ethan, you know what you get to be.
You're
All
the
right.
little boy.
So make sure you check out all that. And of course, we've got a lot more coming up for you. As Bill said, we do have a private party for the Jesters, which are part of the Shriners. We're very happy to have them in the building. We have our own Christmas party as well, but that's after business hours. You can certainly come of our normal hours and enjoy at Deadwood Tobacco Company. And last but not least, we do have you have something else?
Oh, no, I was building it up for you.
We do have a word of the episode. If you mention this word, a bell will go off and you will owe $1 to the pot. We'll find out what the word is before too long. And with that, we'll throw it over to Mr. Hanson Pierce and our special guest, the ruler of Deadwood Tobacco Company, Mr. Wild Bill.
Mr. Wild Bill, how's it been, man?
Oh, man, it's been great. I've been out there on the beach down in Florida. I've been in the Bahamas. I've been in Jamaica. We're about to go over to the European Union. We're going to see some things out there. We're going to bring back some exciting things. Yeah, I've been traveling the world, man. It's been fucking amazing.
Sounds like you're going to shoot a fucking rhino and bring it back.
Well, we did that last year in Africa.
Did we name it Hornsby and hang it up someplace that it fell down?
We named it Silent Bill.
So bring us through a little bit. So back in your formative days, you went to college. You were where in college?
Toledo, Ohio.
Toledo,
University of Toledo.
Okay. So when you were there, as I understand, and what we talked about before, you weren't really a tobacco person back in the day. What was kind of the growth into the tobacco world that brought you to ultimately here today?
Well, the truth is, if you were a girl smoking, you and I wouldn't be talking. I just didn't like tobacco. I didn't like the smell. I tried cigarettes when I was 13, stealing Pall Mall Golds from my mom, puked at the public grade school. Got a little older, joined the Marine Corps, went to war, came back, and was like, I'm a man, I'm gonna learn a pipe. And I threw the son of a bitch out because I couldn't keep it lit. So that's 2 strikes in tobacco right there.
Right.
So also being a Marine, I thought, you know what? All these damn Texas cowboys are chewing Copenhagen. I'm a man. I can do it too. Well, that was when we were...
Bad place to start.
Yeah, we were coming back, repealing back to the safety, and we got there, and they're like, hey, you want to chew? And I'm like, hell yeah. Man, I was spitting every 1.5 seconds, and none of these guys were spitting, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? We swallow. And I was like, hell no. Threw it out, went out to the sunshine, it was nice, and then I projected.
Oh, I bet.
So that's 3 strikes on tobacco.
That's 3 strikes.
I was against it. I didn't care if you personally chose to smoke. It just wasn't something I was into. And then we're gonna fast forward, graduated college, got my English degree, went on for a master's, was working on that in counseling, and lo and behold, around my 33rd birthday, driving through a small town, saw a cigar sign. Hey, pull over, it's my birthday. I want a cigar.
So it was just like a one-off little thing where you were like, I am going to try a cigar. Is it because it looked regal or because it was whatever? Or were you trying to prove that you could do some tobacco? Or like, what was the thought process of just driving through this town and being like, fucking, I'm going to have a cigar?
Well, again, it's my birthday, and when it comes to my birthday, I celebrate it with myself. I spend $100 on myself.
Oh, okay.
So I've been doing that since I was 13, 14 years old, saving up all my lawnmower money and all that. So I said, pull over, I want a cigar. And my wife was like, what? I go, yeah, it's my birthday.
Nice. Just kind of a spare of the moment kind of deal.
Saw the sign and we weren't doing anything, so.
Do you happen to remember? I know it's been a while. Do you remember the cigar? What'd you pick out? Or?
It was I didn't pick it. This little hippie kid working there that long story short, kind of aggravated me.
No.
So the cigar was the Punch Rare Corojo when it first started coming out once a year.
Oh, interesting.
But that was about 23 years ago.
So from there on out, like what brought you back? Like it was such a good experience that you were like, I'm going to have one every other weekend, or I'm going to have one once a year for my birthday, or what kind of got you moving into that cigar area?
Well, that was my first non-puking moment with tobacco, and it felt, which I don't know what heroin feels like, but it felt like heroin. I went to the library the next day. I went to the bookstores the next day. I bought all the books I could on tobacco, got them all out of the library, started reading them all. Got a job 6 hours a week, 6 months in, I'm running the shop.
Like, what's the time frame in between your first cigar to I'm working at a tobacco shop?
1 day.
1 day? Nice. Was it that same tobacco shop that you went to get that cigar?
Yep. That little hippie kid said, yeah, we want somebody in college. And I was like, good, I'm in college. And he looked at me kind of funny, like, aren't you a little old for college? So I got the job 6 hours a week. The main guy left, so he promoted me, and I fired the nephew.
Oh, there you go.
Which was the hippie kid.
Oh, you fired the guy that gave you your first cigar. Oh, well, if he's not
like,
yeah,
you did this to me.
Look, you just can't leave a bong in the basement of a store. And when you're told to take it home because it's your personal consumptional use, you don't need to do that at work.
Ah, got it.
So take it home, and he took it home, and unfortunately, he got a DUI.
No. Well, I mean, that's...
I didn't tell him to drink.
And how long did you spend in this store after you got kind of
2.5
graduated
years.
up? 2.5 years. And we talked a lot about pipe tobacco back then, too. Did you get back into the pipe or anything? Give that another try while you were doing that? We always talk about mixing and doing all the stuff with pipe tobacco back in the day.
It's at that store, you almost didn't have a chance not to get involved with pipe tobacco, because on the wall there were 1 ounce and 2 ounce bags, so you constantly had to be filling it. You constantly got the aroma. Some of it was too sweet, some of it was too woodsy. So you start learning by the smells, and then all of a sudden there's chocolate chip cookies, and you're like, oh, that smells good, I'm going to try one.
Right.
And again, you're a little more mature, so you hop online and you try to read how to pack a pipe, and okay, you think you did it, but it still tastes like metal. What am I doing wrong? So then you relearn how to pack a pipe, and then you learn, hey, this is kind of peaceful and enjoyable and relaxing, and it's cheap.
Well, and I don't know, my whole pipe experiences when I was a kid, when I was like 14, 15, 16 years old, when I would run out of cigarettes, I would grab my dad's pipe and go out on the back deck after he had gone to sleep and just puff away. So it was kind of a trial and error thing for me, but at the same time, you're falling in love with that trial and error. It's almost...
We're still talking tobacco, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not puffing on my dad's pipe, just puffing on a regular one.
Okay.
Well... yeah. You know what? We'll just keep on going forward.
It just zooms.
That was a curveball.
It was a curveball. So when you were learning about all the pipe tobaccos and regular tobaccos, and you seem like you like to do a lot of research into what goes into everything.
Yes.
I mean, if you're looking at pipe tobacco, you're going to research that. If you're looking at cigars, you're going to research that. Cigarettes, I'm guessing you didn't, but maybe you did. But all forms of tobacco and that kind of thing.
Yeah, when you start out and you're educating yourself, not just in tobacco, but you're also educating yourself through your master's program, you learn those steps to read, to retain, and to regurgitate to people. And you got to find a way to do that in your own style.
Right.
So for me, I was 100% completely afraid when I started out in the industry to give the wrong information. I didn't know nothing about tobacco when I started. I didn't know filler binder wrapper. I didn't know how many came in a box. I didn't know what the band meant. I didn't know a damn thing.
So all this time you're just sitting there kind of just soaking up the information and just absorbing this whole culture, whether it be like wanting to further yourself in the career or just cure your own curiosity.
Because I didn't have plans in my future to go towards tobacco. This was just a job to help me out with my master's, some supplement income. And at that time, I was immersed in learning. And I got the Perlman's Encyclopedia before it went digital. I got those all marked up. I've got tons of books that I've read and underlined different things.
Is there a couple of books that you were reading along the way that you could promote here?
Yeah, the one's an old one. It's of course this company is no longer around, but it was written by Joel Sherman, The World of Cigars or something like that, according to Nat Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good book. I let my team read it every time they get hired on. It's part of their development, and it really shows a good showcase of the 3 different major regions which we get to smoke outside of Cuba: Nicaragua, DR, and Honduras.
Mm-hmm.
Different soil makes up what makes up their soil. Why does you have more minerally over here? Why is there more earth tones over there? And we're just talking right across the street from each other.
Right.
But once you start learning something and it grabs a hold of you, and you're immersing yourself in the flavors by smoking and the aroma and everything like that, I got bit by the tobacco beetle and I never let go.
Nice. So fast forward a little bit. So when did you get that job you were with Ashton first?
Correct.
Did you get that job right out of that tobacco shop, or was it kind of a process? You kind of float around a little bit and you're like, you know what? I fucking really like tobacco. Maybe I should just put my name in here and see what happens.
No, I was, when the master's program wasn't creating the excitement that it originally did, I decided to close up shop on my education, pause it, immerse myself into the shop once I started running it 6 months in. And then is when the opportunities started coming around the 2.5 year mark. First, it was General Cigar wanted a resume, then CAO before General bought them. And the first one was through Doug Skeens. Second one was through Miguel Chardell. And then the third one, which was Ashton, I didn't really have a good relationship with Michael Walters. He was my rep, but it was in and out type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to the door and he's like, "Hey, you interested in working on the other side of the fence?" I was like, "Sure."
Not even knowing what it entails, or had you kind of heard in the background what the ropes were going to be?
No, I had no idea Ashton was coming. They were a prestigious company. Nobody left there.
Right.
So when he said it and then just walked out. And I'm like, who the fuck is he?
Right.
Like, I what? So I hurry up, went to my lawyer buddy, and we put a resume together and got the interview. And
like, did you know what it meant to be a rep at that time? Like how much travel and much fucking work and everything was?
No.
I had no idea that I was going to be on the road for 70,000 miles a year, including flying. I didn't realize I'd be gone 5.5 days for 14 years. I didn't realize that my life would be nothing but tobacco, forget food. I would always go to the store, stayed out late, worked hard, didn't party.
So in these first couple of months, is there like a training system that you went through at Ashton, or is it like a Ashton school, or is it you learn on the road as you go?
You're going to learn the filler binder wrapper of every single cigar they got, including the size. You're going to get tested on it, quizzed on it. You're going to be given maps on how to book out the accounts and where they're at, say in Kansas City, so you can have a quicker run through the city versus making a star at David.
Back and forth.
Yeah. So they teach you all this, and then about a couple months in, they're like, all right, buddy, we're going to your territory. It's your job. And you're with your boss, and you have to do all of the stuff they taught. and you have to carry everything you sell in your car.
So when you first started on your very first territory, did you have a combination of established accounts you were taking over, or did you start clean slate? I got to sell into all these shops.
No, Ashton doesn't go into every cigar shop because they don't want their product everywhere, because it is a high quality Dominican cigar. So those accounts were good. And if they start following and somebody else pops up, you have to be honest and tell them, hey, look, you've been sliding for a couple of years, so we have to open up these new accounts.
So it sounds like a really strategic kind of thing that,
it is.
that the uppers do and then float down to you, or this is for you to assess on your own and then kind of go with that, or a combination of the two?
Combination, because you have to go into the phone book and you have to research tobacco shops, smoke shops, see if the product will go in there, make the cold call on top of doing your hot calls with all the established accounts. So you're always responsible for finding new accounts.
Tell us if you have one, maybe a funny story of, because if you don't know this, Bill has shared this with us. Ashton is a suit and tie company. Suit and tie all the time. Is there ever a place where you thought that the shop was good? This is pre-internet or early internet. If you thought the shop was going to be awesome and you walked in and all of a sudden you're like, fuck, there's no way I'm putting Ashton in this piece of shit dump.
Don't have to name any names.
I won't name names, but I mean, there was definitely stores that would call or send information into Ashton. You'd have to go out and see them, and you're like, oh, that's a new spot. That's going to be good. The demographics are great. There's 80,000 people around it, so it should be good. And you're excited, and you got some pictures, and you get there, and it's the size of a closet.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, let's go over the line. Let's discuss the classics, the cabinets, the Maduros. You start telling them what they need to opening order. And they go, well, we just wanted the Ashton Classic Double Magnum. You know,
that's not gonna fill the shelves.
Yeah, pretty much the conversation's over. And I tell them, here's a wholesaler. Here's 2 of them. You go to them, build up your stock, and when you're ready, then allow us to come support you, because we can offer events, we can offer in-store promotions, we can do all these different things. But if you're not able to support the brand, then that allows us not to be able to support you, because you're not supporting us, and we develop a friendship and a teamship and a partnership.
So speaking of these partnerships that are with that, like facings, like is there a certain amount of facings that you were going for if you were bringing Ashton into a brand new store, or not a brand new store but an established store that was just trying to take you on? Like, how many facings was your goal to be able to put in there?
Well, back in that day, you had to have 3 to 4 of Ashton Classic, 3 of Cabinet, 3 of Maduro, 2 of the Heritage, and then at that point, if they brought all that in, then you'd offer them a VSG that was allocated. Then the ESG came out, which was more rare, so that was even more for them to buy into the basics. And then the Nicaraguan products started coming out with Peen, so it made it easier for people to take on Ashton at a lower price point, meaning the Nicaraguan tobaccos, and that would get them to bring in more Ashton, because those Nicaraguan people that know Ashton cigars now are smoking Don Pepin's Ashton product, and then they start asking about their other classics and cabinets, so they end up bringing in more.
Right. And sometimes when you're out at these different shops, we'll use Nickleby's, for example, that we went to a couple years ago and hung out. And it's in kind of like a strip mall-ish area. And by the outside, you wouldn't know what you're walking into. It's a very simple shop. They've got about a dozen seats in kind of a big circle, and the owners and the workers hang out, and all the movers and shakers, people have their laptops and stuff. Then there's a side room, but you go in the humidor and you're like, holy shit. They've got a ton of stuff in what on the exterior is just a strip mall. You would not think that that's what you're going to walk into. Did you find lots of places like that were like little hidden gems?
The hidden gems in the Great Plains Midwest were already established, because this is flannel flyover country. So not a lot of traditional cigar stores with lounges existed at that time. It was a few accounts like Diebel's in Kansas City, and then Outlaw. You had a few in Minnesota, a few in Milwaukee, so on and so forth. But you also had stores that, yes, sold cigars, but they didn't sell cigars. They sold more hookah, more hashish, more paraphernalia, and they wanted your cigars in there. And you're looking, the highest price you got is $8. Yeah. I'm 15 minimum.
Yep.
What do you really want to do? Are you going to move? What's your average sale? What's this? What's that? And sometimes these business owners don't know their information. So it's hard to have facts and express the facts and what the facts can do for you. But if you're not willing to buy into the product, then the facts don't matter.
Was there a point in time, like through all your experience on the road and everything, that you walked into a shop and you saw the potential there before they did, and kind of not walk them along, but encourage them, hey, if you do this and you do this, you do this, we might be able to bring us in. I really think you got something good going here. Let's help you out. You help me out, kind of deal.
Not really in the beginning, not until I believe you establish yourself in the market. And I don't mean just being the loudmouth, obnoxious drunk selling cigars, which
Right.
can happen.
Yeah.
Wild Bill came out. I wasn't a drinker. I didn't party, but I was going to mess with you, but yet give you the knowledge. So at that point, when you have done this and you have a reputation of being a good, honest person and doing the right thing, stores tend to listen to you more. So when you do walk into that store and you're like, I don't know how they did this, because talking to them, they don't know. Mm-hmm. And everything is laid out perfect. It's beautiful. Everything's faced, aligned, everybody's product. The people are energetic. They're just between two big accounts. They know what they got.
Right.
From the aspect of investing the money. But what they didn't know they had was the disgruntled people from the big stores looking for a new spot.
Gotcha. Oh, trying to absorb something that's already established.
Yeah, and they didn't know the big accounts and what, big accounts do a lot of things. They constantly change, they constantly develop, and you might like something they did and it ran its course, so they get rid of it, and you might be upset, right? It could be the cigar of the year that you fell in love with and you're the only one. Mm-hmm. So they got rid of it after 6 months because the sales stopped and they're sitting on 25 boxes.
Got it.
Buy Synesthesia. That's mine.
Yeah.
I love that cigar, but I'm the one.
Casa de Cuba.
So then you're running around and you're on the road for Ashton. For how many years were you with that company? Roughly.
A little over 8.
A little over 8 years. And then all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, tell us the story how you decided, or were you recruited, or was there an aha moment when you switched to a new company?
I'm going to try to say this very politically savvy. At a certain point in time when you've developed a market, be it a small market that I was in, and the company knows you hit the ceiling, and you've taken account and doubled it 2 times. Mm-hmm. You're making several $1 million for the company in a geographical difficult sales problem.
Sure.
Meaning the travel in between stores. You're looking at 45 minutes to an hour in between stores. So when you're doing all this traveling, you learn which accounts are going to work with you, which accounts aren't. Like the little smoke shop that has cigars and paraphernalia. Mm-hmm. You can send them emails. You can stop in. You can cold call. You can call. You can set up the appointment. They listen to you and they don't buy anything. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, hey, stop back next time. Okay. I'll stop back again. But after a year of stopping by 4 times and you not responding to an email, a text message, or ordering anything, I'm then going to have to put you in priority of your purchasing.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I got a guy out there that's growing year 1 from 5,000 to 8,000 to 16,000, that's the account you're looking for. As a salesman, you're looking for that because let's be honest, your increase of sales percentage-wise goes quickly.
Right.
Where a big account that does $80,000 a year, you know, what do you want? You want a 10% increase, all right? So $8,000. How are you going to break up $8,000 over a year for this big account that has big numbers with people?
Mm-hmm.
You still got to grow it. You got to lay it out. You got to break it all the way down to, if you sell one more Ashton cigar every day, you will make $9,332.
Right.
And I'm going to do that with an in-store promotion. I'm going to do that with a second event. So
Right.
you set it all up for them.
So when you're going through this and you're getting close to, because I've heard you talk to reps before, and you know, you build up your sales base, you build up your, you know, area, you do all the things that you do, and then at some point you assess yourself and say, I feel like I'm doing more than what is being offered to me. Is that how you kind of switch gears? Like you do a self-assessment and then you go on from there? Or is it kind of just a come to Jesus kind of thing? Like, well, fuck, you know, I've been doing this for X amount of time. You know, the words are coming out of my mouth before I even think about them. You know, the sales pitch is now just a script in my mind that just is leaking out of my mouth kind of deal.
No, that wasn't it at all. I was being mentored by a particular man that was a legend in the industry, that was well respected, that did the first dinners, the tastings, things like that, taught me food, wine, beverages, everything you could do to put on your palate to affect your smoke or add value to it. And that was Manny Ferraro. And he would always travel with me 5 times a year in the ugliest territory. And it was a lot of fun, but he would always say, you're going to miss me when I'm gone. Things are going to change. And you're like, Manny, you ain't dying. Manny died. He died on the dance floor at a Rocky Patel TAA event.
Oh, wow.
And that was my... Yeah, I've had experiences of death in my past and witnessed it. But this particular one was gut-wrenching, soul-taking, because you had somebody that was teaching you everything and they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
And you knew what he said was going to be true.
Right.
Things are going to change. Things changed. They're continuing to change over there. I'm able to see patterns of people that I watch. And when the pattern changes, that tells me a big change is coming. And when you look at the smaller changes leading up to it, you're either comfortable with it, what's coming, or you're not. At that point, I had a solid reputation, big book of business. I had another company coming after me for about 5 years. Finally jumped ship to Jerusalem.
Got it. All these, like, to know how many connections that you've made in the industry over the years, all you have to do is go to one event with you. And you've got 15, 20 people just, oh, hey, Wild Bill, come over here. We need you. Oh, but Wild Bill. So like this persona that you've built over the years, and I feel like anybody in sales or bartending or customer service or anything does that. Like even right now, I'm on the mic and I'm using a voice that I probably wouldn't use in real life.
Oh, you would never do that.
No,
Welcome to the Deadwood Tobacco Podcast. This is 100% normal. This is how I talk to every customer.
But like you get that mask that you put on because you know you do pay attention to people. You do have all these relationships. You do sit back in the corner and absorb things. But you do have these personal connections in the background. How many? Like, I don't even know how to say this. Like, how do you cultivate that many? Relationships. Like I understand I'm behind the bar. I do the same thing behind the bar. But if they're out of my peripheral for 6 months, sorry everybody, but I might not remember your face until we get into a conversation and then go from there. But I've heard you say, oh, where are you from? Oh, there's this smoke shop, this smoke shop, this smoke shop. Go talk to this person that owns this one and this person that owns this one. And I don't have the mental capacity to remember all that stuff. So you building all these relationships, like, how did you handle that? Was it a word association thing, or like take me into the brain of a salesman on the road that has to remember all these, like take notes and shit? And
Well, after my meetings in the shop, I go back to my car and I make little notes of what we talked about. Then I put that in my notes for the business day. But what I would do in the beginning to establish a strong character of honesty, truthfulness, integrity, loyalty, judgment. I had all these built into me from the Marine Corps, and I exercised them. And how you do that and watching patterns, I take snapshots when let's transition to the humor. I'll take a snapshot in my head, bing, bing, bing. And I can see the product in my head. I can see levels in my head, because after that many times in the industry and going into all these different humidors, you become accustomed to what's selling in the market, whether it's yours or not, because you're talking to the end result consumer.
Right.
You may not remember his name is Bob, but you can at least remember that Bob works for the Italian joint because he's always bringing in free lunch.
Right.
That's him. Hey man, how's the cooking going?
Right.
Fucker remembers me. I don't remember his name,
Right.
but I remember the story.
Yeah.
And then once you tell them the story that you remember them from, they actually know who they are.
Right. Well, and truth be told, we do the same thing upstairs. People come in, you're like, oh, Dragon's Milk and a Tabernacle.
Yeah.
It may be only the third time we've seen you, but you've drank that beer and you've smoked that cigar. So then, we're visiting with you, learning a little bit about your, how's your kids, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just, relationship building. So to keep things moving along, once you moved on to Drew Estates, was there some renewed energy because you had a brand new line to rep? Was there any type of a bump in either your spirits or your technique in selling because it was new?
Good answer is no.
Everything was the same except for the names of the cigars.
But you have to understand the two companies. One, you were right. Ashton is very professional, very suit and tie, very polished shoes, very polished people. Drew Estate, not to badmouth them or anything, but you didn't have reports. You didn't have information to make the questions when you're in the sales call. So you're flying blind with no radar like a bat. You're just bouncing off the stuff and you're making sales. The part that was exciting for me was I went from the suit and tie company to the bad boys of the industry.
Gotcha.
So that was exciting because I didn't have to wear the suit and tie. I didn't have to say, don't let the suit fool you. When people are talking about tattoos up and down their arms, you're just sitting there and they're ridiculing them and get up to say bye. And you're like, hey, don't let the suit fool you.
Sure.
And then when you show up as a Drew Estate rep with your mechanic shirt and your pair of jeans and your biker boots, and they shake your hand, they turn your whole hand over and they're like, I heard you had tattoos. So it wasn't necessarily rejuvenated energy as much as it was at that time more aligned with who Wild Bill was as a salesman.
Yep.
And it would have been able to evolve into something bigger.
So a perfect example, maybe not perfect, but an example that I know because I haven't been in the industry very long is Fabian Ziegler. Fabian was known forever and ever and ever as the father of sweet cigars. Then he took a little time out of the industry. We talked about this on our podcast a couple years ago. And then he got back into the industry, and now he's with a company that is almost exclusively traditional with a few transitional cigars and things like that, where he's still the same Fabian. His knowledge base is still the knowledge base, but now he's not the king of sweets. Now he's with Aganorsa, and he's highlighting these new products. Is that kind of the opposite of what you had to do from going to Ashton to something that has a different profile?
It is the same but different, but in regards to learning non-traditional cigars, the sweet caps, that's a lot easier to understand than it is to remember every single traditional cigar in a humidor, knowing their filler binder wrapper, how it smokes, whether it's mild, medium, full bodied, mild, medium, full, ultra full, whatever. That's a lot more knowledge to understand, and that's just understanding the cigar. That's not understanding how to listen and put it into their palate. So Fabian has a lot more knowledge available to him to learn than there was learning acid.
Gotcha.
Okay, acid was simple.
Yep. So I mean, basically, you're learning wrapper, filler, binder on one side, and like on this side, you're learning flavor profiles, which are objective. You know, I might taste a sweet rose or whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean, and then you might taste blueberry, but it's still going to be the sweet cap, sweet, infused, yada yada yada.
So at which point then, which company were you with, Ashton, or were you with DE when you got introduced to the old Deadwood Tobacco down in the basement?
I was with Ashton.
Okay, so you'd been there even with the traditional line and that type of thing?
Ashton, I remember the day that I got hired. I went down for the interview in the Philly, and Manny pulls me into his room, and there's this sign framed on the floor leaning up against the wall, and it was about Sturgis and something. He's like, yeah, this is your account. And I was like, okay, Sturgis. Cool. Don't know what the fuck that is. So I come out into Deadwood for a visit, made my call, set up my appointment, and I show up in my suit and tie.
Well, how'd that go over?
Vaughn basically said, go fucking change. So I ran to my hotel, I changed, I came back, and then she said, let's go. We went upstairs next door, she bought a drink, and then we started talking and developed a good relationship. We were good friends. I had the major events locked down every year, all 4 of them. I was growing the account, doing everything, developed a good relationship with Vaughn. She trusted me. And
so when you're doing Ashton and then you transition into Drew, I have to suspect at least that Ashton might have taken a dip when you went to Drew instead, because having so much knowledge in that area and whatever in Deadwood Tobacco Company downstairs circa 2010, 11, 12. Did Ashton take a dip when you took over on Drew Estate, and Drew Estate took a little bit of a bump? I'm just assuming.
Well, without being on the inside and knowing the numbers,
right.
What I will say is, in the 4 years in that market after I left Ashton, they had 5 replacements.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying they had 5 replacements.
Right. And so you're with DE now, and you're doing a line, a bunch of different lines that they have, and you're down at Deadwood Tobacco down in the basement of the old Oyster Bay building, and then the product comes out that everybody is known for. Had that come out before you started with DE?
Yes.
Okay. So
that came out in 2009.
Okay. So when you took the job with DE, you were familiar that, hey, this line is out here, and then you got to know how a little bit more the history and that type of thing, and now to walk us through the next few years, how you transition from being the rep for that line to, well, shit, I think I should just buy this whole goddamn place.
Was it a wearing down process? Were you kind of on the fence and she was a believer, or were you like, yeah, I might want to get off the fucking road and actually enjoy life sitting still for a while? Like what process did you go through to stop being the road dog and start being the homebody?
It was very simple. My wife asked me the question that I gave her when I first started in the industry. And I had to change the course of action for our life. That's what a man does. He lays down his life, so that means if you lay down your career, you're laying it down for the betterment of your marriage. And I love my wife, and she's cool. So she said, I need you, which is what I said. If you say you need me, I'll be home. I'll change jobs. I'll do whatever. But if you said, I want you home, you're being selfish. If you use the love to get me home, you're being deceptive. But if you just simply say to me, I need you, I'll quit the job. I'll find a new one. No questions asked. So that was coming.
Right. So in total, how many years were you on the road then? Like what, 16-ish, give or take?
14-ish.
No, it's a long time.
That is a long fucking time.
So then you take over and you get your hands on the shop, and you have a successful run down in the old location for 5 years? No, something like that. Was it 5? Give or take 5 years. And then talk to people about how you decided to move to the new location. 5 times the size, 3.5 times the seats, way bigger humidor, ventilation, air conditioning, heat, restrooms. What was in your thinking process for like, you know what, we should take this bigger?
I'm not a guy that just sits. I'm always going to be developing something. I'm always going to be looking to the next year, the next 2 years, the next 5 years of what we can do, and you got to set those flags in place to achieve those marks. So I had ideas based upon what the business was generating and what we were able to do. It wasn't about, hey, let's get a bigger spot, let's act cooler, let's do this, let's do that. It really came down to what I've experienced in the industry when a tobacco shop is in a building that somebody else owns, especially when it gets sold and you're still the tenant. You know, they love you because there's money coming in, but within the first 6 months, there's going to be a problem. That problem is going to be the ventilation. And they're going to say, hey, this isn't working, this isn't working. You're going to spend the money to bring people in to say, yes, it's working. And then you might negotiate for a new air filtration system with the landlord. He may have you put it in. You're going to pay the $15,000. But what happens then, right after that, you spend all that money, he jacks up your rent.
Right.
Doubles it. So now, not only did you have to pay the $15,000 for a machine, you actually now pay $8,000 for your rent.
Right.
So at that point, he's driving you out of his business.
Sure.
And just doesn't break the lease and pay the money. So I've seen this happen to a lot of stores when they sit and wait and they think that the new landlord's going to be a good friend and good business partner. Turns out not to be. They got to find a new location quickly. So I preemptively knew that was coming and started looking and had a conversation with that time the mayor, and he found the spot and we moved in. Simple as that.
And it's been it'll be 3 years of the till ringing. It'll be 3 years here in a couple of months.
Yep.
But you guys were only dark for about 4 weeks, give or take, between occupancy permits and things of that nature. So coming up on it's February 4th is when we cracked the doors 3 years ago. So maybe we'll have a little bit of a celebration for that. So we've kind of covered your start in tobacco, some of your major occupations, the companies you were with, some of the lines. All right, now the fun question. What's next? What is next for Deadwood Tobacco? You said that you're not one to settle or to status quo isn't exactly always kosher. What in your mind is the next 5 years for Deadwood Tobacco?
Well, let's get over the current mountain we're facing. That's number one, which if you people out there haven't heard for the last several years, the previous owner, Vaughn Boyd and Drew State, filed a federal lawsuit against
Ding, 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 ding. There's the word.
against Deadwood Tobacco and me personally, over trademark infringement and all this other shit. So we've done all right with it. We're slowly coming out of the dark phase of it. We're coming to the light here. We're going to find the answer soon, and then we will take that answer and develop what we're going to develop next, whether it's the podcast more, whether it's buying the trolley to do the beer and cigar tours, or even bigger ideas is using some of my connections with financial influencers and developing more locations throughout the United States.
Very good. So there's always something on the back burner. So assuming that the current situation is resolved in a favorable manner for Deadwood Tobacco Company, what can you say is like, what's the big what's the big carrot on the hill that you're like, all right, I did this with Ashton, I did this with DE, I did this when the shop was in its old location, I've done this so far with the shop in its new location. What is the next goal or big, shining star on the hill that you see, best case scenario for Deadwood Tobacco?
It's very simple. I know what I want, and I know what I'm going to get. And the reason why we started the project, Chasing the Dragon, still holds true on what I want to do. And what I want to do is be able to get health care into Deadwood Tobacco for all the team members so they don't have to worry. They don't have to worry about their kids. They don't have to worry about them. They don't have to worry about their spouse. They have health care. So the team knows that's where we're going. And once we get through that, we will start to implement healthcare into Deadwood Tobacco. That's the big financial push we're going after. So that's going to take money, time, and resources. And then once we get that, the team's going to have a new set of motivation, new creative ideas, new inspiration. And God only knows what this team can do.
We're all smoldering, just waiting to go.
Yeah. Smoldering is the way. Yeah, it's like the old charcoal grill. The fire's been lit.
Yeah,
we got nice and rosy red. Now a little ashy on the outside, but we're putting out the most heat right now.
I just learned about lotion last week, buddy. Don't be bringing that whole ashy thing into this.
You're just a spit guy.
I'm just a spit guy.
And it's raw.
I mean, it is what it is.
Exactly. So be looking forward down the road when things resolve, and it's been a long couple of 2.5 years. I was at the trade show. It was Grimes and Bill and I when the news first broke. I think it was like 4 weeks afterward, and we had a number of just enlightening conversations. Like Pierce said earlier, when you go someplace and you in a cigar industry, everybody's lined up. And here's a hint for you: you can tell where you rate currently with Bill by how he chooses to greet you at a big event.
Yeah.
There's various levels. So like a head nod and a what's up, that's probably the lowest level.
Right.
Fist bump, you're moving up a little bit.
Fist bump with face away, moving up a little bit.
Yep.
Face bump looking at your eyes.
Yep.
Just a titch more.
Yep. And if you get an actual handshake and a little bit of a conversation, you're moving up. And then if you're somebody who's a really good partner or friend, then you might get like a bro hug. That's the top of the line.
That is the top of the line, the bro hug. And it's to watch the personalities take over from to the I mean, it's phenomenal to watch because it's in a split fucking second. Hey, Bill. And then the crowds part, and then somebody's like, "Oh fuck, hey, how you doing?" Yeah.
So just stay tuned, of course, for all the stuff, and of course, we got a brand new Patreon coming out very, very soon. We'll have all kinds of behind the scenes stuff. We'll start running the cameras. You'll see us all getting this stuff set up, what we're doing. We'll have a little bit of after stuff. We'll have some music. We just shot one with Dan McGinnis, which is going to come out here relatively soon. We got Tyler Bills we're working on, and Johnny Hastings, and Dayami, bass player. Yep. He just joined the big band Juliet Motel, Judd Hoos and Denim present. So he's going to be their new full-time bass player. We'll have a bunch of music and stuff, and that'll be on the Patreon as well.
And if you think we're talented, watch the Patreon and just see how wrong you are.
But you paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll be like, oh, Ethan is way more important than we thought. He cuts all this shit. That poor fella.
Oh yeah. We'll put one of his cameras up in his office. Like, okay, we're going to shoot this. Takes us a couple hours or something. Go up there, and it's 10 hours of Ethan doing this and a whole lot of this. Shit.
By the way, Ethan should take on a new nickname.
Oh, Ethan needs a new nickname?
Oh.
Yeah, the Adderall Kid.
Hey, now.
I didn't need that my entire life.
Until you started here?
This job made me ADHD.
It'll have that potential. But the other thing that I just thought of that you asked me about in regards to what's next. Well, a lot of people don't understand what we created realistically last year. I mean, a lot of people in the industry that smoke cigars and visit lounges. We will keep developing, and we knocked it out of the fucking park. We created the Deadwood Blues Fest with big acts, national acts, international acts, regional acts. So if you're a cigar smoker and you want to come out to the Black Hills and see what Deadwood Tobacco is about, come out July 11th and 12th of 2026 for a Blues Fest.
Absolutely. We are working on that currently. Have been for, well, since we put the last one to bed last July.
Yeah, you slept for a week, and then you're like, all right, fucking let's go.
You got 3 days.
Yeah, pretty much. We're like, hey, let's knock this out of the park again. We've got actually today, a little bit later. We're shooting this a little bit early. We've got some stuff coming up today. We'll hopefully have a big lead to that. And also, Bill and I had a conversation. We're not going to name any names or places, but we had a conversation with a business owner here who is a regular cigar smoker and visits our shop whenever he's here about a related but different project that would really reset the marker for cigars events in Deadwood. That we are in the beginning stages of discussions on that, but look for that probably summer of 2027, if not fall of 2026. So got always irons in the fire.
The mystery.
Yep, Preacher's over there shooting documentaries. How many you got in the can now, Ethan?
I don't know how to count them. 3, 4?
1, 2.
You got one, the Wild Bill
Hey,
documentary.
just use your fingers. It's all right. Yeah.
It's 1, 2, 3.
It's always qualifying the terms, man.
Yeah. Because every day Ethan has a new project that he's launching into.
Yeah.
Documentary with an African choir, documentary about the Blues Fest that we're going to have premiered. Hey, it was a great premiere, everybody. I'm so thankful for you.
Thank you so much for coming out.
It was a great time. Thanks for Johnny for playing with us. Your friend dealing with end of life issues, the running one. I mean, check it all out. That's Be Creative, right? That's where you can find it. Be Creative. Make sure you check that out on YouTube and all the social media as well. Handsome Pierce over there. He and I are kicking around an idea of relaunching some podcasts that he's been involved in the past. You want to give him a little heads up on what we might be seeing?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't spring that shit on
Put him right on the spot. So I really want to get involved in the aspects of all that we're doing here. Is that what we're talking about? Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to be doing a little bit more of a broad stance. I thought he was talking about the autism one, and I was like, I don't think anybody wants to hear about that shit.
I thought it was going to be your strip joint experience.
Yeah, the strip joint experience.
Yeah.
But we do want to get together with other people behind the bar. We want to get their aspect of life. We want to get the aspect of life of the musicians that come to play. We want to do the cigars. We want to do the pipe. We want to do the beer. So we want to get more reps in here, maybe some brewers in here, the bands that play here. I really want to let you guys know all that encompasses Deadwood Tobacco Company, not just the podcast, not just the cigars, not just the pipes, not just the booze, not just the bands, but everything, and give you a little taste of how we're trying to make this not only a national thing, but more of a community thing, and ways that we build relationships, just like Bill was talking about with the cigars, but building them within the shop and giving the bands a nice, warm, receptive welcome when they come here, and the compliments that we get from the bands is just amazing. They love to play here.
Yep.
Even if they don't like smoke, they just enjoy coming here for the vibe. So we want to get down to the bottom of what they're doing, what's going on in their lives, when we can expect them here, what their experience is at Deadwood Tobacco Company, and just kind of get a feel for all different layers of the business, so you guys can kind of more fully see us in the future.
Hey, do you think we should have a podcast with Pierce and his dog?
My dog?
And then we can have Grimes with his dog, and then Ethan with his.
Interview.
Yeah.
It'd be cool. See how they get along.
We can have the dogs of DTC.
Dogs of DTC.
Yeah.
Everyone
Be like, Sully, what do you think about this?
Wait a minute.
My stupid dog.
I think currently everybody that works here has a dog.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So we're dog lovers.
And even the past ones, because Ruckus was in the other day, damn near knocked over 17 chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little stout fucker.
that dog put 2 holes in my wall in my basement. Literally, if you go down there, you will see 2 holes.
Was he chasing a toy and hit it with his head?
Close. He was chasing a toy that jumped on the couch, so he ran as fast as he could, launched like Superman, hit the back of the couch, and slid it in the wall and put a big dent in it. Twice. That's what Rico's going to be fixing this winter.
Yep, that sounds
Very
like a
nice.
plan.
So stay tuned for 2026 when we talk about all the pets.
Exactly. All right. Well, Bill, so that's it for the Behind the Bluster. We didn't even get into it, but in the previous podcast, we've talked a little bit. There's William Rectenwald and there's Wild Bill.
Yep, just like there's a regular Pierce and a handsome Pierce.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody's got that personality that they put on specific for a task. Sometimes it's sales, sometimes it's other stuff. And hopefully this has been enlightening, a little bit more informative about the process from starting off with a cigar at his 33rd birthday all the way through today and what's looking up for the future of Deadwood Tobacco.
And we also hope to get everybody else in the chair here. We're going to run from Preacher to Eye Candy Randy to me, get all the backgrounds. We're going to get Grimes down here. It'll be the shortest fucking podcast ever. It'll be 5 minutes of family. But look forward to that. We're gonna do it in like double speed, so you can watch it in literally 2 minutes.
Can you make him say family in multiple languages?
Familia.
I think we just blank him out and then we just put it in. I'll do the voiceover for it.
That'll work. Different voices too.
Perfect. La familia.
Button your top shirt.
Oh,
La familia. Ooh, there you go. Showing it off.
El
All right.
Gringo.
With that note, thank you very much for joining us. Preacher, you got anything else to add?
No.
that was
family.
Adderall.
Family.
that is it. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share. We will be reading all of your comments, replying to them. Of course, we've got some stuff to give away. So here it is. I had to write it down because I would forget. If you've listened this far, if you comment correctly at the end of this on YouTube, on our YouTube, that is DTC Blow and Smoke Podcast, what was the specific cigar that Wild Bill had on his 33rd birthday, the first real cigar he had in his life? It's a very specific one. If you comment correctly, we'll pick one of you who did, and we'll send you out a little swag bag.
Yeah. We're going to be doing a lot of that here pretty soon, too, so stay fucking tuned.
And with that, thank you very much. That's the Preacher. That over there is Mr. Hanson Pierce. This is Wild Bill. My name is Eye Candy Randy.
Word up, fuckers. Peace out. You guys have a great rest of the podcast. We'll see you next time.